Oh my goodness, what's up, internet? I think I'm broadcasting live right now. I'm not 100% on that. I think some shit might be frozen. But yeah, make sure I mute some stuff here. There we go. Okay. So what's up, everybody? This is Marshal Arnold. I'm an electronic dance music producer from Denver, Colorado. Owner and operator of overclockedmusic.com. If you're interested in any of the music that I produce or more about me, you can go to marshalarnold.com or overclockedmusic.com. Either one is just fine. Go ahead and turn this down. So basically, what I'm doing here tonight is part 3 of Inside Your Radio remake. This is a track that I produced back in like 2009, and I've been going through redoing it. So anyways, let me see if I can get my Ableton pulled up. There it goes. Alright, so let's just show you what we got going on. Oh, first of all, everyone, if you're interested in checking out my latest EP, it's called Robopocalypse. You can pick that up at your favorite digital music store. iTunes, Beatport, all that good stuff. I will make sure I link that in the video. So yeah, it's good stuff. So in the background, obviously, you're hearing my progress so far on Inside Your Radio. And I'm doing this all live, folks, so there is a good chance I will screw up here and there. But anyways, this is my Ableton setup here. Running with the push right now, and what you're hearing essentially is this top row is the full track, pretty much. I haven't gotten the whole thing in terms of the composition done just yet, but what we've got here is each row is a measure or two measures of the song. See, here I am hitting stuff. Each column here is a different sound. So, for example, we've got percussion here, if you're looking at the screen, and I have those all grouped together for the crashes, kick, claps, hi-hats, snares, all that good stuff. This group here is an MS-20 lead, MS-2000 lead, excuse me. Yikes. And then my vocals, and then some super bass, I called it initially, which was from Reason. And I'm actually, what I've done here is I've actually layered part of this so that I'm keeping some of the original stuff from Reason. And here's Reason over here. I've got this all rewired in. Let me close some of these. And I mean, I haven't really used Reason a lot in a long time. But this track was about 90% Reason. I want to say it was Reason 4. Reason version 4 I wrote this on. So anyways, there's a combinator patch that I created in here for bass. This one. Super bass, right? And look at this monstrosity, right? So the combinator was really cool thing because you can combine all these different modules in Reason and create some really cool sounds. So I originally created the bass line in the original Inside Your Radio. This is the bass from it, and I had people asking me how I was able to do that. Well, this is it, you know, just a Maelstrom, Scream 4, and subtractor, and a little bit of routing, and it came out awesome. So, anyways, obviously, dance music has evolved slightly. So, using some different layering techniques where I'm taking some parts of the original bass and then layering it with, let's see what's here. Some Massive, right? Massive is dope. If you guys don't have Massive from Native Instruments, I highly recommend picking this up. Here is my Massive patch. It's called Electro Synth, and we should be able to preview some of this. Right, so it's kind of more of a mid sound. Let me switch that back so I don't forget. This one, and I should label these, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So this one, I have some Omnisphere in here. And that's actually not a bass line, but it's following Omnisphere 2. It's following the bass melody, right? I actually have this split onto 2 channels. This is how I get some stereo imaging, right? Left and right over here. And this thing's cool. It's a granular synthesizer. So it's got subtractive qualities and granular qualities, and it's pretty freaking amazing with some of the sounds you can come up with in this thing as well. So massive Omnisphere 2, 2 super awesome plugins. Pick those up if you can. Let's see if I can make a sound from that one. So since these are split, there you go. And you know, the other thing I started doing is I picked up this Kickstarter. It's a Kickstart. Sorry, I was going to call it Kickstarter for some reason. From Nicky Romero. This is a nice little time saver plugin for sidechaining. And normally, what I used to do is I would set up a channel in Ableton or in Pro Tools, and it would just be a kick going on the 4/4 beat, right? And then I would route that out through the bus, and that would come into my sidechain on the compressors. That would be my sidechain. And that's just cool, except for in Ableton, when you go to bounce these sections out, playing off the raw plugins into audio, which I do so that I can load them onto my performance rack, and I'll show that at some point in the video. I'm using Surface Pro 3s, and they don't have the processing power as my main desktop, obviously. So I'm trying to limit the amount of plugins I have so I convert things to audio and use minimal plugins, mostly for just effects and things like that. So this I can leave on, actually, because I don't like... I like to have as much real effect as possible with some of these things. Like, so the side chaining, the plugin's going to work great. But what I used to do is the old way, and the old way was fine, except it would take longer when you were converting to audio, because Ableton doesn't let you freeze tracks if you have something routed to it through the bus in terms of the compressor. So I'd have to like duplicate the sidechain channel, disable the side chaining. It's really weird. I wish I could show it to you, but I'm not going to. But anyway, trust me, this is a huge time saver, and it's really nice. Okay, so let's go on to the next bit that I've done here. Little Fatty, of course. I don't have my other camera set up, but I have a white Little Fatty, which is cool. And I made this little patch on here. And my keyboard's right in the way of the actual keyboard. And I can show this to you if you want to see me playing on this little thing. Oh, you can't even see it. I promise you it's working. And we'll scooch that back to where we need to be. So that's kind of layering, right? So I've got probably like 4 or 5 different things layered for the bass. This reason noise is actually like a pink noise that I have that was part of the original song. It is not routed correctly yet. Something is weird and it's not working, so it's not a big deal though. It's not. That's kind of a finishing thing. And then what I did is I replaced my old V-Synth. I used to have a V-Synth 2, or not V-Synth 2. It's a V-Synth GT 2.0, which they had a V-Synth, like the original V-Synth in like, when was that, 96 or whatever. And then they came out, not 96, 2006. And then they came out the V-Synth GT, and then I think they had a software update to it, 2.0 or something. Anyway, I had one of those, and it was pretty cool. It has a really good vocoder. The vocoder in this track is actually from that synthesizer. But then I also had this like lead patch that I had created on there, and that was the original lead for the melody in Inside Your Radio. So what I've done instead, though, is I have replaced that with a cleaner sound. And what I'm doing is I'm basically layering SynthMaster, which SynthMaster is also a super dope plugin. SynthMaster 2, love this thing. Let me do this. And you can see with that Nicky Romero plugin, you get sidechaining all the time, even when things aren't running. Oh, that's my Waves Hall plugin, or Hverb. Where's my Nicky Romero? There it is. One thing I notice here that I don't have is a normally I'll have a sidechain on here. And you know what? I think I figured out last time I had some issues with Ableton. And I think it's because of all the screen capturing and all the streaming stuff I have going on. Because we're streaming on Beatport Live, and we're also streaming on YouTube at the same time. So I think it causes a little bit of trouble. But anyways, Synthmaster 2, super good. And then I also have layered that with Anna. I don't know if you say Anna or ANA. Either way, it's Sonic Academy's plugin synth plugin. We'll pull this thing up. This is also a pretty good little synth I picked up over the last year. I like this thing. So between this and the Synthmaster 2 plugin, you know, we're doing some good layering here. And it's sounding pretty good so far to me. And I've done a little bit of preliminary kind of mastering-ish type stuff here. And then this one, what is it? Oh, this is, this goes to my Sub 37, my Moog Sub 37. And I was trying to get some real kind of low bass. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? And that's why you gotta remember all this stuff. No, gotta change these back to auto. Oh, is it not hooked up? Oh my god. Oh no. Don't record that. Oh, there we go. You probably can't even hear this on the... I can't hear it on my headphones even. Barely. But my monitors picked this up pretty good. Let's just hear what this all sounds like all together so far. Now, again, the endpoint part of the track in terms of the composition is not finished. But we'll just kind of play what we got. I'll turn it up so it sounds good. Again, not really mastered all the way, just some preliminary things I've done to clean up a few things. Transitions are not done. And then some of the filtering that I had in the original, I haven't done that. And obviously we don't have any sweeps or any like noise or nothing yet. So it's basic, but it's sounding much better than the original so far, and I'm pretty stoked. So let's check it out right now for what we have here. I just totally screwed it up. Oh no, let's start it over. Here, so we'll just go from here. So I was gonna play the whole track at the top because it's easier for me, but we'll just play the sections that I've set up here and trigger these. Obviously, I missed that trigger like a dumbass. obviously we're gonna make that build much cooler. We just haven't yet. So here's all the MIDI and stuff. Right. This one apparently doesn't have anything there. Oh no! Don't give me that shit. I mean, we have, look at the CPU maxing out 93%. Let's see if I can close some shit down. Well, yeah, we'll close that. I don't want to close that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We are processing the hell out of a lot of this stuff, so we're gonna we're gonna take my ozone. Ah, see, that's why. We're gonna change this to IRC3, and we're gonna get a little bit less punch, but we're gonna cut way down on that processing power so it doesn't max out this machine. Here we go, like, yeah. No, we're still doing it. It hates all this stuff. Here, let's go back. Alright, let's go to 2. Come on, give me a break. It doesn't sound like this, guys, I swear. Oh, and that's the first thing we're gonna fix is this freaking hi-hats that are out of sync. Yeah, no more skipping. And then we would actually go. And this is not how the original was, but I might actually leave this in here because I kind of like the layering there, so happy accident for the win. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's all I've got right now. So, yeah. So the first thing we need to do is fix our hi-hats, because there's a spot in here. Right here, in this, right here. You hear the hi-hats all Like, I think I did this wrong to where we need to actually shift this over. So you can see here, let me zoom in on it, where I have been a moron and started the measure in the wrong place. So what we need to do is move this over 2 bars to 119. So we could either just drag it like this, right, to 119, and then we need to scooch this over 2 bars to 135. Let's make sure that's right. I mean, technically there's nothing there. So what we could actually do is just delete that one. Because normally what I'll do is once I get these going where I need them, I will remove them. So like this one, for example, there's nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, because there's nothing there. So that's normally what I do. So I've got holes in here. This one starts a little bit. It's just so like this one, there's nothing. Oh, this is the first. It's actually the first line. Then the claps start there. And then nothing there. Right. So we can remove that one. This makes sense, guys. Since this was a pre-made song, I made all this stuff in Reason like forever ago. So I've just moved all of the MIDI into Ableton, rerouted the instruments back from Reason into here, controlling them through Ableton, through Reason, kind of a loop like that, and then layering other effects on top of stuff. And then the other cool thing is because I've got my MIDI put back in, I have the MIDI from all the melodies and everything I wrote in Ableton. Now I can use plugins, I can use my hardware synths, and I can make some really cool sounds. Back in 2009, I was still using Reason pretty heavily. Even though I had some hardware synths, I still pretty dependent on Reason for a lot of things. That's pretty much how I learned how to write tracks. But anyway, so I'm just going through our claps here. You can see here at the end, we're not even all the way through the song, but parts of it repeat, and I think I might rewrite part of the ending anyway. So, but yeah, so here's one where we don't need it. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. I hope. Oh man. Okay, and then the snares. Now, this is something we should do actually. I have what I call a rolling snare. It's actually a snare crescendo, right? And the sound that I was using from Reason was kind of shit. And let me see if I can find it. So this is going to snare 2. So if we go over to Reason and we look at my rack, not like my boobs, okay, like my rack on the screen, not on the glass. Let's find our snare. Here, this is rolling snare. So those were the samples I was using originally, and these are old now. Like, they sound like shit pretty much. So I took them out. Actually, that would be cool with a lot of like reverb on it, right? But I have it disconnected from all the effects. Anyway, so what we want to do is program a new one. Now in here, since we have, what would be the best way to do this? It might actually be better for us to create a new MIDI track. And we'll call this, we're just going to call it snare. Right? Snare. And we're going to put a drum rack in here. So we'll go to drums, drop our drum rack in, kaboom. And then what we're going to do is look at my gigantic sample base and look for a cool snare sound. Let's see what we can find here. Let's see. Here's where I keep all these. And these are all the sample packs I've got. I've got quite a bit of samples here. Let's go into something kind of dubstep-y. I find that the snares and dubstep samples are really nice. I think this is because my cues running through one and two. Let's turn it back. There we go. Now we can do it, right? Let's try that one. I kind of like that one. So we throw it in here. Bam. Right? So let me see. Where do we need snares? Let's listen to a few things here and see if we can figure out where they were. I think I erased them from the reason MIDI files because I was not going to use that thing and it was driving me crazy. I should have just muted it is what I should have done. Let's see. Where do we want to put some snares? One of the cool things is we can go over into note mode. Is it? Well, we're in the wrong one. I'm going to here, then go into note mode. But not only that, so we can trigger our sequencer to start, and we can just throw them in here. Like that, right? So now we got some snares. Now the cool thing is I can move this wherever I want. So if I don't want it there, let's go back here. Let's go here. is just gonna drive me freaking nuts. So for the meantime, I'm going to let's take it down to IRC1. Jesus, never had to do it that low before. Yeah, this is where one was. So that's not exactly where we want this, right? So we need to move it. And a couple measures down. I'm moving the wrong. So I'm just gonna scooch these down. To the end. And then what we're gonna do is I thought there was a way we could draw in here. Our levels. Can't remember what it is. You know what I could do? Instead of doing it that way. Envelope. Something like that. Maximizer makes a huge difference.
I am inside.
Something more like that. Alright, and then we'll adjust our volume envelope again. And obviously we need to come up. Ah, shit. A bit higher on that. And then I'm also going to throw an EQ on here just because I know that this does not need to be super thick sounding. So we'll cut, I hate that stupid thing. And we'll cut some low frequencies out. It's always a good idea to chop off super high end. That's what that sounds That was way too fucking loud. Sneezing on the show. Duplicate that, bitch. See if that's in a good spot. I want out of your radio. Throw a little compressor on there. Compressors make everything sound good. Making the magic happen, baby. And this is all jacked up right here. Let's just fix this real quick. Yeah? Alright. Okay, so, the next thing I want to do is I want to try, what I've done is I've put some effects on this master channel, but, so let me turn this on and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. I'll turn this one on. Here how it drops out the low end, and I'm using an LFO on the filter. Right? But what I want to do is I want to filter some of these things. But I need to run them through a bus or something and then back out through something else. Because I don't want to filter the whole song, I want to filter sections of the song. And I want to trigger those on and off at certain times. That's like my Mortal Kombat Ryukin thing. Okay. Let's see. So all of our percussion right now comes out through here. So what we could do, since we want to throw it on this one, I can go back to my master channel and I can copy that. Copy that 10-4, good buddy. And we'll toss it in here. Like so. Cowabunga. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shut the filter, the LFO off. Can I even shut it off? No, like turn it all the way the fuck down. Turn the amount all the way down. And that way when this is triggered on, we have our filter. And it'll affect all of the percussion. So let's go to a spot where I know we need this. And where we need this is for sure in the beginning, for example. Go back up to the beginning. So we have it in here. I need to figure out how. I've never done this in. I've done this in Pro Tools before. It's really nice. I've not done an effect like this in Ableton, so this is new kind of experience for me to learn how to do this. What's the best way to do this? Can we automate this? See, that's horseshit though. I don't want to do it in the. I don't want to do it in the arrange mode because I'm not really arranging the song through the arranger. I'm doing it through clips. Now, I had noticed that when we did our snare, and maybe that's because there's a clip there. There's a clip here, and what I want to do is trigger this on. I mean, I could do it by hand. I could trigger it with the push, but I'd like to automate this somehow. Shit balls. I'm trying to think. So I know another way I could do this is to ungroup these. Route each. See right now these are all being routed to the group that it's in. But actually I don't necessarily need to ungroup them. What I could do is create a new MIDI track here. We'll call this filter. Right, and then just for shits, I'm just going to route this to filter. And route it to filter in. That's maybe I got to do it as an audio clip. Filter. Bam. There we go. So this should route everything here to this. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so that's working. I'm going to take this effect, I'm going to cut this. And then I want to paste it here. Well, what I was hoping I could do here. How the hell would we do this? Okay, so that's not working exactly as I thought, so... Let's do that. Let's try this again. Tries the MIDI track. Okay. Rename. Filter. Oh, you know what I just did? That's okay. See, in the MIDI, we've got control. Now, what I could do is instruments. How the hell do we do this? What I basically want to do is take the output from here, run it into a separate channel, and have my automation on here to trigger our filter, for example. I don't know how exactly to do that yet. I go to group, master. I might have to do some playing around with this because it's kind of important. Now, I think we want to do it. Oh, idea. Right? Let's try this. We can use this filter as a MIDI channel in here. And so let's throw our filter on again. Right, so do filter delay. No, that's not. I don't want that one. And then here. Oh, you son of a bitch. We might have to do it one at a time. If I have to do it one at a time, I'm going to shoot myself. Let's see if we can make that work. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this, and I'm just not thinking of it. But for right now, let's just throw our filter on here at the very ass end of our, well, let's not do it on the crash yet. Let's do it on, let's do it on the kick. All right. Something like that. And then we can go in here. And then from here, we can control our auto filter frequency and device on and off. So let's go in here. And we definitely want it to be on. Yeah, this is going to suck, though. If I have to do this for every freaking track, well, I think the good news is that once I get it in, can I? No, I'm gonna have to do it manually for all of them. Okay, so my idea of trying to group the shit together to do this, apparently, if it works, I'm gonna have to look and see how that would be done, because I don't know. Yeah. Joke. So, device on. I think this is on. That's on. That's off. So, we definitely want this on. What a fucking nightmare. Why can't I have MIDI control over effects I put in here? That's the dumbest thing ever. I want to control MIDI effects on groups. As like a group thing, you know? Fuck. What a piece of shit. Alright, well, this'll work. Fuck. But... that's gonna make me cry. Alright, let's throw it on everything. Fucking... Ableton, can you add that for me next time? That'd be nice. Fuck. Oh, what a fucking nightmare. Fucking nightmare. It's gonna take forever. So I have to go through. The default status is on, of course, on everything. Getting tired, folks. Alright, well, I'm gonna call it right there because I'm gonna fall asleep right now. I'm really super tired. Anyways, this is gonna take me a bit to get that all figured out. I'm actually gonna do some research and see if there's a better way to do it than what I'm doing it right now. The way I'm doing it right now will work, except it's going to be extremely tedious to go through every single section of the song, put that on there. And I mean, there's some filtering that I want to do, like I want to sweep the filter a little bit. And I was actually in the original track. If you look at my Reason file, let me bring this over. What I had done originally was I ran certain outputs because, gosh, man, I used to get pretty complicated with my Reason setup. So I would have sections of the song routed through independent mixers. So if we come down here, so here's the mixer right here. Certain things were in here, routed back up through the main mixer up here, and then split off with this guy into, let's see, did I delete it? No, here it is. Into this vocoder in Reason, and you can see I've got some automation on the shift there, and it gave this really cool like kind of effect, right, and helped kind of build those sections of the track up. It's really cool, and I would like to do something like that again. Except I think the vocoder, I mean, this vocoder is not the coolest vocoder ever. It's pretty good for stuff like what I was using it for. But I think the Ableton one is really shit. I don't know if I can even use it for that. So we'll have to see what we can come up with. What would be really cool is if I could route stuff back out through Ableton into not Pro Tools, into Reason, which I think I might actually be able to. I don't know if I can do it in real time, but still use my same vocoder effect, and then have it come back in. Just make kind of like a loop. Yeah, I don't know if that'll work or not, but we'll see what we can do inside of Ableton first. We'll go from there. So yeah, so we're making progress, guys. Making progress. So I can't wait to get the song finished and released pretty soon. So let's just go ahead, and I know you guys are probably tired of it, but we can't even play it right now, right? Anyway, whatever. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just done. I'm done for the night. Normally I'd play out to the track, but since it's so screwed up right now, I can't even do that. Anyway, so thanks for watching the show, everyone. I appreciate your support. Please like my YouTube page. I'm trying to get some subscribers over there. It's just Marshal Arnold. And these are all my fantastic sites where you can check me out. Social media. Say hi to me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. SoundCloud is on here, so check that out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.